They hating on my face. They hate me for my fam. Now they hating on my faith. But they made me what I am. They hate me cause of Trump. What they gotta do with this? But they really go to show. They everybody hate Chris. Think you know who I supported? Biden or Trump or debate, I avoided. My vote this election I never reported. Cause Jesus, my family, my job was important. Now I'm trending on Twitter, all because some actors chose to be bitter. Refused to fulfill my role as an avenger for Biden's campaign, so they say I'm a quitter. I don't bother what the herd say. I'm not involved in politics in the first place. But if you really want to talk about a story, then you really need to worry about Hunter and his drug face. Cause I heard what they found on that hard drive when I've been chilling, getting busy on the par 5. Going fishing, tending to my farm, live a very simple life, and they still give me a hard time. What's crazy is it started all randomly, attacking who I am and my belief in Christianity. I pray to God that he helped me with my sanity, cause every single day I'm losing faith in humanity. Making my wifey go crazy and act up. Robin and Marka, I appreciate the backup. If this continue, I may need to pack up. My life as I know it, then lead till they slack up. And since my church is conservative, now they hating on the way that I prefer to live. Calling me a supremacist, quite interpretive. I swear I do the most with emphasis on the superlative. I became a target for your hate. This won't only happen when you're great. Guess I consider my fate. In the end though, I'ma be straight. Everybody hate Chris. Everybody hate Chris. Everybody hate Chris. Everybody hate Chris. They hating on my face. They hate me for my fam. Now they hating on my faith. But they made me what I am. They hate me cause of Trump. What they gotta do with this? But they really go to show. They everybody hate Chris. They gon' hate me for this one. Hashtag facts are racist. R.I.P. mom, you the greatest. Raised up a king and they hate it. Everyone mind about races when they're not the biggest problem we facing. Take a real look at the nation. Single motherhood inflation. With young boys I saw jumping a lady. She only 15, left her bloody and shaking. They wasn't wearing no rags. Nobody waving no flags. You ain't even gotta ask. It's black on black on black on black. Everybody wanna play victim. Blame everything on the system. Be a sad day when it hit them. Life could've been different if you would've listened to the information that we spit. Take it, keep it, chew it for a bit. Hold your head up, brother, never quit. Self-accountability, that's it. That'll get you all to the top. Then you really ball till you drop. Economic growth, man, I'm here to stir the pot. Say you wanna hear the truth, so I put it in the beat. Changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.
13-year-old girls twerking on TikTok. You saying he just wanna learn how to crip walk. If you ain't talking about sex, then kick rocks. All they care about is chains and the wrist. Watch the goddess change. This is something only God can change. Don't get mad at me when I complain about how 4 and 5 black women are beasts. Half of the murders us killing in the streets. Almost half of abortions too. This a rap verse, but this is a warning too. And go against God like there's nothing more to do. But y'all don't care. Y'all just really want a voice that's new. Wanna gangbang, do drugs, wish drugs all above. Sell drugs till you in the jail cell, not a club. Now another single mother, cause we lost another brother. Sold to an undercover. Kids gotta raise each other. This what you want for the future? Or are you trying to look cool on computers? Claim you a king, but blame the white man. When something bad happens, you feel like a loser. And keep voting the same way. Why? Cause your parents did it too. Truth is your parents are ignorant too, and politicians know it, so now they got you.
We changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Wow. Space Force, wow. Space Force through your tape. We fast forward, we came through that time warp. Your foreheads look.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. I am one of the two kings of the Rube Empire. The Philosopher King.
And oh, what a king you are.
Darn right. The Philosopher King, that's me. The Ivory Tower, the mad scientist, Matt. And I've got a perspective on things. With me,
Yes, you do.
the kick-ass Duke, the right hand of the kings, the producer.
Let's do it.
Dusty! How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm ready for this show.
Yes.
I'm so excited to hear what Rittenhouse is going on.
Well, we're going to talk about it. That's for darn sure.
Good. Yes, let's get
so-
into this.
As you know,
How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
You doing good?
I bought my first NFT yesterday,
Ooh,
and I'm hoping to flip it for a tidy profit.
I bet you are.
I love cryptocurrency. I really do. It feels like I'm playing a video game, which may be the worst thing to happen to my family. We'll find out. But I'm not. I haven't bet my house on. I'm not going crazy, so don't worry, anybody who's watching. Also,
I don't know. That's debatable.
What's that?
I don't know. That's debatable.
No.
Whether or not you're going crazy.
Well, okay. I'm neither here nor there on that.
Okay.
So Kyle,
Yes.
murderer, bigot, obviously, clearly trying to,
But, you know-
like lone vigilante, Rambo, in the streets of Kenosha, gunning down swaths of people. Right? That's the narrative, right?
Innocent
Oh,
people.
completely
You got
innocent.
to throw that innocent people.
Completely innocent
Bystanders.
rioters. I mean,
By-
protesters.
Just they're just walking around minding their own business.
And here comes this monster
People.
kid. You know?
White kid.
Yeah, that's very important, people.
Yes.
Very important that you know that he was white.
He even has a white name, Kyle.
Yep.
Kyle.
And, it's also important. It's also not important that you know that the people that he actually shot were also white.
Oh, well,
That's not
that
okay.
doesn't matter. That doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Still a bigot.
Under the rug.
Anyway.
Because they were protesting. They were protesting for a good cause.
Yes.
A mostly peaceful cause.
Yes. And it was a mostly peaceful protest. That only.
Yes.
Only a few gas stations were burned and cars and stuff, right? No, but in all seriousness, somebody did die, and others were shot,
Injured.
yeah. And the person who
Or
died,
my favorite. My favorite word that they used was pulverized.
Seriously?
One person's chest was pulverized.
These scumbags. The corporate media is... It's just
It wasn't
something
even
else.
corporate. It was the prosecutor.
Nice. Wow. Okay. I hadn't heard that one from the prosecutor. But though I have gotten to see a little bit, a good bit of the trial.
And it was the same guy that was holding the gun.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
I want to start off with what the corporate media has been saying. So, like today,
Please.
the guy who got shot in the bicep, if you remember. So there was a dude who got killed, and then another dude who got shot in a bicep, and then there's somebody that they refer to as Jump Kick Man, because they have no idea who this person is. So all they can refer to him as is Jump Kick Man, which is very funny. He I don't know if he got injured, but it doesn't matter because they couldn't even find him, so he's not a part of this trial. But Gage Grosskreutz is the guy's name. He got shot in the bicep. And and let's look at how the media frames his testimony in their headlines, right? Okay, so New York Times. Let me bring up the articles. 1 second. There we go. Articles. All right. New York Times. Man shot by Kyle Rittenhouse describes the encounter on a Kenosha street. The testimony underscores the prosecutor's challenge in disproving a self-defense claim. Gage Grosskreutz, who was armed, was shot while responding to an earlier shooting. Is that what he was doing? Okay. New York Post. Lone shooting survivor takes stand in Kyle Rittenhouse trial. CBS News. Lone survivor shot by Kyle Rittenhouse at Kenosha protests says he thought he, quote, was going to die. And then, this is like the local Chicago news. Gage Grosskreutz, sole survivor of Kyle Rittenhouse shootings, takes the stand, tells jury he thought I was going to die. I saw another one that I couldn't find it for this, but one talked about how he was in tears as he was talking about his experience. And it's just, what a joke. Because when you really find it, if you were actually paying attention to the trial, you'd find that this guy was a horrible witness. All right?
Yes.
He said...
no. He's a horrible witness for the prosecution, but a great witness for the defense.
True. True. He was caught lying multiple times. And in fact, he was caught lying a couple times by the prosecution itself. Okay? Yes. So this guy is either the prosecution lawyers are just dumb, or this guy is dumb.
And didn't go over his testimony prior to this whole thing and going,
or at least
are you sure that's what happened?
Yeah. Or at least
are you sure that's what happened?
To get his story straight with the prosecution. Anyway.
Right?
Then, on top of that, admitted to the defense attorneys that Kyle did not shoot until the gun was pointed at him.
Yes.
And that's where you get the memes now of the prosecution literally face palming. You got the guy at the podium who's asking the questions or whatever. And then the guy at the table literally face palming.
Because, they kind of have to. Considering the fact that, well, he just ruined their entire case of stating that, hey, this is not self-defense. Well, actually, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if it wasn't self-defense, he would have been just shooting anybody near him.
Yep.
Instead, he was very calculated about who and when he's shooting,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, great control. I gotta give him props, considering the chaos around him.
For sure. I mean, he had rules of engagement and he followed them very strictly.
Almost to the letter. So
shout out
I
to
gotta give
Tom
him
Does
props.
Code. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Rube Empire, citizen.
Yes, welcome.
Your liege lords, thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's been a slam dunk from start to finish. The prosecution has been horrible, and they've been grasping at straws the entire time. What else what else was I gonna say? What's up, JBN?
Look who's on. JVN. There you are. Been a while. Love to see you back.
You didn't get to see. Do you have any questions about what's going on?
So, okay.
Jesse,
I watched
it might
the
be on your
video.
end. Sorry to interrupt. It might be on your end because we're not getting any dropped frames here that I'm seeing. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Mine's good on my end, so.
Yeah.
So a couple of questions for you is, it says 22 witnesses. I'm assuming they're just bystanders, things like that watched everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Plus they have the video of pretty much everything. Then they also have, I guess there was a drone or something flying over.
Yeah, the FBI had a drone. They, of course, withheld this information from the defense, which I don't know how that's legal. But it was supposed to be some kind of bombshell that proved that he wasn't into self-defense, but no, it
actually proves that he was running away
running
from
away.
them.
He was running away until he couldn't run away anymore, and then he had to take action.
Yeah, which I don't know about you, but that sounds like self-defense.
It 100% is self-defense. I mean, unless the jury is just, an activist jury.
Which
they
very
won't
well
be able
be.
to get him on any of the murder charges. Because
You don't think so?
No, man, it's complete garbage. If you've watched this, it's been an S show from day one on the prosecution side. Like I titled it, they arrested their case because it's dead. They got nothing. They have nothing. I mean, their star witness, the guy who got shot in the arm, confirmed that he didn't shoot until the gun was pointed at him.
JBN, thank you for paying your taxes.
Yes.
You are a wonderful, wonderful citizen.
Yes. We appreciate you. And if you want to pay your taxes, voluntarily, of course, because that's the way we do it here in the Rube Empire, there's a link down below in About or in the liner notes. Streamlabs takes none of that money. So anything that you donate comes to us, and you can make it a recurring monthly thing if you were to choose to do that. And if you were to choose to do that, again, your liege lords thank you.
Because you are awesome people.
Yes. Also notice the goal. We're trying to hit $150 by December 14th so that we can keep up operations, pay off our, pay the subscription fees for all the stuff that we need to make this happen.
Yes.
Anyway, back to the trial. So yeah, I mean,
back to Rittenhouse.
Their lead guy, admits to having pointed the gun first. You know, the medical examiner spoke. Really had nothing to contribute to show that it wasn't, that it was or was not self-defense. It's basically, basically
essentially, yes, this person got shot.
And,
this person got shot.
Yeah, basically there was 3 wounds and a graze on the head on the guy who died, and that's it. Not to mention that the guy who died had just been let go from a. I see what you.
Yeah, because I was
good.
pointing over here instead of pointing over here.
It's always good when your wife comes on the stream, right?
Right.
The guy who did die was just had just left a mental facility. All right.
Why am I not surprised that he's at a protest?
Yeah. Well, but it gets better. There's more to that. He left a mental facility. All right. And he couldn't stay with his fiancée because she had a restraining order on him. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I believe he's an 11-time convicted sex offender, or at least accused sex offender against children. All right.
So, pedo.
Yeah.
All right.
Gothgash, welcome to the Rube Empire.
Hey, look at you. All right, welcome.
And Roman's joining the Discord. Gosh, it's a good night. Anyway, we were talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. So the guy who died was a pedo. He had just left a mental facility,
pedo.
had a restraining order against him by his fiancée, so he couldn't go home there. Was running around in the middle of a Black Lives Matter protest, yelling the N-word, trying and demanding essentially that people shoot him. He was looking to die. Now that doesn't mean that that you just go and you off him, and that's not what happened.
No.
You just but he was putting himself into a situation where he could get killed, trying to make it happen. And so you see a kid with a gun and you want that to happen, you rush him and you threaten him, which he also did.
Yeah.
And you try to make, your dream a reality. And it's sad, but that's exactly what happened. I mean, they have the prosecution has no case whatsoever. The only thing that they could possibly get him on is the weapon charges,
Okay.
Like, yes, he was essentially trying to willfully unalive himself. Yes.
Unalive himself. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's just, it's ridiculous.
I do love that line, willfully unalive himself. That's good. I like that, Roman Knightley.
Well, why should he get Gothgash says he should absolutely get the weapon charge. And why is that? I mean, he didn't carry it across state lines. It was given to him by someone who lawfully owned it, right?
And gifting a gun is still not illegal.
Like, and it was
as far as I know.
And I don't think it was given to him to own or whatever. Well, he was carrying underage. He was 17. Okay. But I think
right.
there is a provision in Wisconsin law for, because like the guy didn't give it to him.
So he didn't own the gun.
He didn't own the
Rittenhouse
gun.
didn't own the gun. He borrowed the gun from somebody else.
Yes, an adult who was.
Ooh, that gets into some gray area there. It's very gray. It's a very gray area as far as, okay, does he have the right to have the gun if he's underage, even though he doesn't own the gun?
Mm-hmm. Now, we're saying all this, right?
Yes, very hazy, JPN.
It is hazy. It is. When we're saying all this,
But that's where.
But ultimately, this hazy stuff clears away when you read the Second Amendment.
Yes.
When it says, Congress shall make no law infringing the rights of the people to keep and bear arms. And frankly, and then the states have to follow suit. If Congress can't do it, the states can't do it. And so all of these underage carrying laws, any of these laws are unconstitutional. But of course that's you know.
That's yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah, Ben Benjamin says, why does the star witness not have charges put against him for illegally carrying a gun without a permit? He stated he just got out of jail. Did the star witness have a felony where he could not carry? I don't know. I don't know exactly that. I haven't heard the specific details on that. I just know that he wasn't legally carrying and he had a handgun.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Constitution has never been applied in black and white, but
it should be.
It should be in a lot of ways, definitely. Shall not infringe is pretty black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it hasn't been doesn't make that legal. But again, I've also argued that just because something is legal or illegal doesn't, infringe. In other words, to restrain or restrict in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And that's actually what you just said has been clarified by the Supreme Court to mean just that.
And yet, all these laws still stand, and we abide by them. Oh yeah. You're not wrong, Gothcash. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It has been litigated all to hell. I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm saying apart from all of that, it shouldn't be.
Yes.
It should be pretty.
It should
clear.
be black and white, and it should be clearly as the Constitution defines. And even the amendments, I'm all for amending the Constitution as we progress through time. It needs to be amended, such as the 16th Amendment. Great amendment. Needed to happen, as well as many of the others that have come about. I just wish they would apply as written, but it hasn't. So,
Anyway, do you have any other questions about the trial? Does anybody have any questions that I can possibly answer?
So the guy that got killed was carrying a gun that he shouldn't have had.
No. The guy who got shot in the arm was carrying a gun who shouldn't have. He was the star witness.
He was the star witness. So he wasn't supposed to have a gun. He had a gun and got shot because he charged forward and was going to shoot Rittenhouse. And Rittenhouse defended himself. And the defense thought it would be the prosecution thought it would be a good idea to put him on the stand.
Well, I mean, they kind of had to give his account. But they themselves caught him in lies because he didn't have his story straight. And they were I think they were trying to go in a direction and he wasn't getting it. And so they had to basically string him along, which meant he had to go back on what he had said earlier. And then the defense, I believe, got the facepalm moment where he basically laid out, oh yeah, no, he didn't shoot until I pointed the gun at him. Until the gun was pointed at him.
Well, the video really clearly distinguishes when when Rittenhouse was pointing a gun at him. He put his arms up. Rittenhouse drops his weapon and show that, okay, I'm not going to shoot you. And then he charges forward with the gun pointed at him, and Rittenhouse re-engages.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not self-defense, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And he's on the ground. He's on his butt. Wasn't a skateboard or something that was thrown at him or hit him? I don't remember what.
There was a skateboard. He was kicked in the face by the guy who died, I believe. It's all a mess, obviously. I mean, as being in the middle of a riot but Gothgash had a question. Why has this trial become such a big deal? I don't know why people give a crap and have made it some weird tribalism example people are clutching to.
That's a very good question. And a lot of it isn't even about tribalism. It's more about this guy going out on a rampage and with a gun. And it's not at all what the media has portrayed it to be.
That's the real issue. The media
Yeah.
The media has been selling us a story. The corporate media has been selling us one version of the events.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, we're all looking with our lying eyes at a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important, because, the truth needs to be out. And we know that the corporate media has no compulsion at all to tell the truth. They craft the narrative almost all the time towards totalitarian control. I mean, just the fact that they're crafting narratives is a form of totalitarian control.
Instead of just laying out, listen, this is what happened. We don't know exactly what the details are. This is what we see. This is what's going on. Leave all politics and narratives out. You want to give your opinion? State it as an opinion. Listen, I think this is happening. I think this. This is what I think might be happening in this circumstance. My opinion on this is this.
Mm-hmm.
All right? We do that all the time. This is what this show is. It's our opinion on what is happening.
Sure.
And we blatantly state, this is our opinion. And we blatantly state, this is what our perspective, our perspective on things. And then we also blatantly tell when and where we get facts and references from. So that if we're wrong, or if we get something factually inaccurate, people can fact check us and go, hey, actually it's this, and this is what that said. Great. We can adjust.
He continues, he says, I mean, it does seem tribal. Every conservative acted like the kid was some misunderstood hero. Every liberal says he's a white nationalist. Seems like everyone is running to the end of the polarity. And that's true.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you.
But
I don't think this kid is a hero. I think the media has been twisting is
he's
conflating him into this villain.
People. Okay.
No.
He's heroic.
And he's not a hero for defending himself.
He's heroic in that he was there to defend the store that he worked at, and that he, in the middle of a riot, he was actually going around asking people if they needed medical help on both sides of the riot.
Yeah.
So the kid is actually a good kid.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. And the media and our politicians, including the president, have lambasted him since
Yeah.
day one because he was on the opposite side of a BLM protest. But
It's just like
and
that
I know
kid
that
at the.
I know that it's asinine that, in your words, that there's this tribalism going on, but the reality is that there's two major tribes in America right now.
Yeah.
There's those with conservative small government values and those with identitarian, totalitarian auspices. They dream of the socialist overthrow. Well,
Which is kind of scary
no
to me.
parent took him to the riot. He drove himself because he drove to work. This is where he worked. And the dude was 17. He drove himself. So it's not like he was a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
The thing went down in a car lot, car sales lot. They were the ones who said that they didn't ask anybody to defend, but he was there for another store, the store that he actually worked at, I believe.
The gas station, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, there was a gas station. There was a car. Maybe I don't remember. I don't remember exactly
There was a
the
gas
details. I
station
know
that he
somebody
worked-
went around and said that they didn't ask anyone to defend their stores, but there's also a picture that he got with a group of guys who were there to defend stores. And we can say, in my opinion, he shouldn't have been there to begin with. Okay, but neither should the rioters. And why does nobody ever take that position?
Well, there was a curfew on. Nobody was supposed to be out because of the rioters being so violent. And because they were so violent, there were other people out trying to stop the violence because the police weren't doing it.
Yeah.
So you have two factions, actually three factions technically. You have the police, you have the defenders, and then you have the offenders. Or offenders. However you want to say it, because it could be either way. So you have these three different factions, all trying to, one trying to disrupt, another one trying to essentially control, and the other one just trying to keep things from burning to the ground. So, who's wrong, who's right? I would have to say two of them are more on the right, and the other one is definitely in the wrong.
You're right. These aren't mutually exclusive positions. He says, I don't think he should have been there, and I don't think people should have rioted. Not everything has to be viewed that way. Okay. You're entitled to that. And I don't think that you're entirely wrong, but, at what point? He shouldn't have... Why is it wrong for a person to defend his community from people seeking to destroy it? Why
when
is
does it
that
become
wrong?
right to defend your community?
People, they say, well, okay, the argument is that you have a right to defend your property, but not someone else's property. And I'm like...
That's not actually true. That's not true.
Well,
you have the right to defend people and property that's not even yours from harm and from...
Maybe not in Wisconsin, I don't know. But, I would think you do.
State of Florida, you do. If somebody... okay, I'll give you a scenario this is completely made up, but just as a... say there's some whack job out there throwing rocks at elderly people, and somebody sees it happening, and then just smears them, just tackles them to the ground.
Should have stayed home. He should have kept doing what he was doing. That's the argument being made.
That's the argument being made, but the person that smears the crazy person has a clear and legal right to do that because he is protecting the elderly. I'm giving a made-up example that's actually true. That actually happened a few months ago. This schizophrenic was throwing rocks at businesses as well as an elderly woman, and a FedEx driver absolutely creamed them and they just happened to hit a fire hydrant and severely hurt them. But there was no charges filed against the UPS driver because he was actually protecting the two elderly people that were the rocks being thrown at.
And it's a shame because, the guy's mentally unwell.
Correct.
And, but you don't
And
know that.
I really
you don't
wish
know that
people...
when you're seeing a guy throwing rocks at windows and old ladies. You just see some
How?
douchebag.
How do you know that?
Yeah.
All you know is somebody's throwing a rock at some elderly people and busting up businesses that Patreon, the place that he works, UPS. So he's just trying to be a good person and protect his community, which is completely legal in the state of Florida. I don't know of anywhere else. I just know the laws and stuff here because that's what I've studied.
Okay, so I want to address two things that Gothcash asked. He said also not every liberal is a socialist, by the way. I caught that line. I didn't say that every liberal is a socialist. I said that they're... Okay, and I'm... I agree with you. Every liberal is not a socialist. In fact, most people who consider themselves liberals and not leftists are regular people who want, who just aren't as conservative as I am, right? Or libertarian. But the corporate media, Black Lives Matter, the organization, the people in power in our government on the left side of the aisle, for the most part, are socialists, whether or not they claim to be. And everything that they're doing is to usher that in. Secondly, he says, my complaints are that he was underage carrying and he went there to inject himself into a riot. The whole situation could have been avoided. Well, and he also agrees that the killings were most likely justifiable. So we have a lot of common ground here, first of all. My argument is
Sorry, JBN. I love the guy.
My argument on that end is, when do we just... do we just let the world burn around us? And we never do anything because we might inject ourselves in a situation and hurt somebody? Like, no, we have to stand up.
Yeah.
We expect our police to do it, and we shouldn't be expecting our police to do it. The police are unreliable.
Well, there's also... There's less than 1% of our entire population are police. I think it's like 400,000 some odd police officers in the entire country of how many millions of people.
But the police
you have a very small amount of police officers versus a massive amounts of population.
Sure.
So to expect police to be able to do everything is just... You can't. They can't. Citizens have to stand up when it is necessary to defend their property and their community. So, yeah, I do agree that should he be there? Yeah, probably. With the situation that was going on at that time, yeah, they needed to be there to help back up the police officers, to help defend their friend's property. So, in that respect, I think they should be there. Legally, did he have the right to be there? I don't know. I don't know what the laws are in Wisconsin in that regard. Did he have every right to defend himself? Yes, he did. So there is some questions that may be answered through this trial, but murder, no. That was self-defense.
I agree. And on that note, our episode is coming to an end.
Yes.
You can follow us you can follow us anywhere, but I'll get to my line. You've been watching I forgot, I was going to say something because we've had a lot of interaction, but really I sum it all up in the ending line anyway, so.
Yeah.
You've been watching Plausible Foolishness, home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal but really leftist logic.
Yes.
Right.
But it's
here,
a lot more fun to say the liberal logic.
Yeah, it's more fun, but it's not accurate. Liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/Plausible Foolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, and anywhere you can get a podcast, Rumble, Instagram, and Minds.com. Peace out. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Got another one. Yeah.
Everybody hate Chris.
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 They hating on my face.
They hate number face.
They hate me for my fam.
They hate me for my fam.
Now they hating on my faith.
Now they hate number face.
But they made me what I am.
But it made me what I am.
They hate me cause of Trump.
They hate me 'cause of Trump.
What they gotta do with this?
What they gotta do with this?
But it really go to show.
What it really gotta show.
They everybody hate Chris. Think you know who I supported? Biden or Trump, a debate I avoided. My vote this election I never reported. Cause Jesus, my family, my job was important.
Way more important.
Now I'm trending on Twitter, all because some actors chose to be bitter, refused to fulfill my role as an avenger for Biden's campaign, so they say I'm a quitter. I don't bother with the hearsay, I'm not involved in politics in the first place. But if you really want to talk about a story, then you really need to worry about Hunter and his drug face. Cause I heard what they found on that hard drive, when I've been chilling, getting busy on the par 5, going fishing, tending to my farm, live a very simple life, and they still give me a hard time. What's crazy is it started all randomly, attacking who I am and my belief in Christianity. I pray to God that he helped me with my sanity, cause every single day I'm losing faith in humanity. Making my wifey go crazy and act up, robbing and marker, I appreciate the backup.